Let's go for a night drive in this Sonata. I've got Charlie here from Daily Motor. Stay there. Have you tried this yet?
I couldn't tell you. Is this the magic park picture?
It is.
So you got it to work, huh?
Yeah, you have to press a button in the center console.
So are you holding the key right now?
Yeah, so I'm just holding it down right there. And if I let go, you want to do it? If I let go,
I
it
do.
stops.
Maybe you're a little Vanna White here.
You can hear it go into park. The beauty of electronically selectable automatic transmissions. Yeah.
Now, if I stand in front of it,
It won't run you over. Yeah. a brave man. I saw the eyebrows raised.
That's kind of cool.
And then if you leave it here for another 30 seconds or so, it'll shut off.
Sweet.
So
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the few gimmicky type features that I could actually see myself using if I did really need to get into a tight spot. I mean,
I know.
Oftentimes you can just kind of drive down the road a little bit and find a spot that fits properly, but it's cool.
It's interesting. I think it's nice if you if you're in an office building and a parking attendant's writing you a ticket down below, and you just press the button and it goes forward.
Yep.
It really confuse them. That's a good way to do it.
That's a good point. Now, I know you're going to get into your proper intros and everything, as you always do such a great job over at the TheTopher, but one of the very first things that I noticed in this car and continues to impress me, just getting back in it now, is how easy and intuitive the HVAC systems are.
Yeah.
You've got it nicely laid out here. You've got your dual zone climate control. You've got multiple auto settings, and then the heated and cooled seats. You press up for heat, down for cooling.
I love that
It's just so
starts
intuitive.
with
It's so
one
easy.
bar
Yeah.
on one press.
Yeah.
Because usually you hit the heated seat button
Start high.
and it starts high and it burns your buns off, and I don't like that.
Yeah, I was just really happy with how well laid out there is, because a lot of these cars, when they're coming out with their new fancy-dancy infotainment systems, they're including the HVAC systems in the infotainment.
Yeah.
And Hyundai didn't do that, and I really appreciate it.
They have gone a little bit more minimalist with this.
Sorry,
They've gotten rid of the tune knob, and there's some really far away buttons on this side.
I did notice that as well. You do
But
have to kind of.
I was thinking about it. Those are buttons that passengers would be using, though. It's like, hey, be my DJ, passenger, select track number 368. So
I like your justification, but it isn't totally absolved, because the setup button is over here.
they should have done a tune knob.
Setup and media, but you're right. It is a very small mishap on an overall fairly great system, and I'm happy that Hyundai did something with their infotainment, because that was one of the last minor gripes of Hyundai's recently. Are just kind of Hyundai's and Kia's, their infotainment system was getting a little dated.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's always worked really well.
Yep.
But this is just bringing it up to modern standards. I like how widescreen Apple CarPlay is and how big your maps get. It's nice.
Agreed.
This car has some interesting little features. It has some features from higher end Genesis cars, some from like high end Kia stuff. The turn signal, blind spot mirrors. I think they're pretty useful.
I think so too. Manufacturers have been kind of experimenting with how to implement sort of a dash-mounted blind spot monitoring system, and Honda kind of started that party with the new Civic.
Yeah.
You'd have a blind spot camera,
But it was only on the passenger side.
Only on the passenger side, and it would come up in the center here. I think Hyundai's way of doing it here, built right into the gauge cluster and holding for a quick second after there, I think it's a really actually useful. Again, one of those features that could be gimmicky, but actually proves to be useful.
Yeah, it's nice. So, in recent news, Hyundai just released the Sonata Hybrid at the Chicago Auto Show. It's crazy gas mileage numbers. And I know they're going to be doing an N-line Sonata at some point.
Yep.
N or N-line, somewhere around 300 horsepower.
Yep.
Maybe dual clutch, maybe the same engine from the Veloster, but tuned up a little bit. Do you think this limited trim is still relevant given those models? I mean, personally, I'd get a hybrid Sonata over this if that's coming out soon, just to save that extra fuel economy. It's about the same power number, I think, too.
I think I'd have to agree with you on that, and for the main reason being, this transmission gets confused.
A little bit. It's not bad.
It's not bad. It's certainly not the worst of anything we've used recently even, but I noticed just driving it around, sometimes I'd kind of just sort of ease up to 25 miles per hour or so, and it would kind of dog itself and then sort of do a weird shift. It's just not as smooth as maybe just a plain old ZF8 speed.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But
it's one of the better ones, I think. It's one of the better torque converter automatics on sale.
Yeah,
it holds gears well. It uses the turbocharged engine really well.
It shifts quickly. But what I was going to say is just because of that the transmission not being perfect, why not just get the hybrid?
Sure. And that still uses, is it the 6-speed auto, I think, or the 8-speed auto? It still uses an automatic. They haven't gone to CVTs on the hybrid. The Ioniq is a DCT.
Check that out.
Ooh, Fiero.
It's
super rad.
I wonder what kind of tires he's running on that.
I know.
Yellow too.
Well, that's interesting because, so I like the Sonata. There's a lot of cool things here that I enjoy.
Okay.
I think there's a little bit more wind noise than the rest of the class. And maybe it's just me, but I feel like there isn't as solid of a driving experience here. It feels a little bit cheaper, a little bit less solid than the Accord, less solid than the Camry.
And you're sure that's not because you just got out of driving a $100,000 BMW?
I think that's part of it. I do think that might be part of it, but I don't know. I think that's really the only knock that I can see with this Sonata.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, the Accord is really the CX-5 of family sedans. It's so much better than everything else. Just in a satisfaction. I mean, it might not have every feature. It might not be the most efficient or the most reliable, but you drive an Accord of any engine, of any transmission, hybrid, doesn't matter, and you're kind of like, man, this is such a good car.
It's phenomenal.
So it is not a knock against the Sonata at all to say that it might be a little less solid feeling than an Accord, or a little bit louder on the highway, just a tad bit more wind noise. It really is quite good. I mean, when we're talking, it's even a podium finish in the family sedan segment. That's a lot being said because it's a competitive segment.
It is. It's very competitive.
Yep.
I haven't driven the new Altima, except I had an Altima rental car in Colorado like a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But
the new Altima's good, but it's kind of it's a less good version of this car. It's a little bit more numb. The transmission's a little less responsive, and it's
slower too, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
it's a naturally aspirated.
Well, but you can also get the 2-liter turbo.
Oh, you can? Okay.
Yep, you can get the 2.5 NA with all-wheel drive, which is something that might appeal to buyers, or you can get the 2-liter turbo, which is actually quite quick. It's the variable compression engine out of the QX50.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that would be pretty decent.
Yeah, no, it's plenty powerful, but this Sonata just carries a lot more of a wow factor.
It does, yeah. I mean, the more I said this in my last video, the more I drive this thing, the more I like it, the more I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really easy to daily, easy to live with. It's easy to use and very friendly to daily commutes and daily situations. I use this cruise control all the time. The highway driving assist works super well. I can't believe how long it holds steering on a road.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
It's even navigating turns, you know?
It rarely yells at you.
No,
I thought it was just not going to him, but finally it did.
Yeah, it's very good.
I think this Sonata really marks, and I know we've been saying this type of thing with a lot of Hyundais recently, and good on them. There's nothing wrong with that.
Hyundai's rocking it.
Hyundai, yeah, absolutely. And for those who aren't in the know, then they really ought to know that Hyundai is really doing amazing things recently. And I think the Sonata takes from the previous generation of, yeah, the Sonata's a good car, you could consider one of those, to people genuinely saying, I want a Sonata.
Mm-hmm.
And before it might have just been like, oh, it's got a good warranty, it's solid, it's reliable, okay, I'll get a Sonata. But this car is actually going to have people going to the dealerships, and I think it's in the same vein as the new Kia Telluride and Hyundai Palisade. And anecdotally, I heard of people following delivery trucks of Tellurides to the dealer because they saw it on the road and were like, oh my gosh, what is that? I want that.
I know. Well, the difference I think here is Hyundai now is starting to innovate a little bit, whereas before they were kind of playing catch up.
Yep.
And this is an innovative design. There's some innovative features here, and they're leading a little bit now, and I think that only bodes well for them as a company and as a brand. They're still kind of getting over brand image, I think, a little bit, but
a little bit. Yep.
that takes a long time. But stuff like this, products like this, and the Telluride and the Veloster N do a lot for that.
They really do.
So,
no, it's just because, I mean, it's catapulted itself so much further than it used to be, and it's just awesome seeing where Hyundai is going, and it's cool being excited to drive their products every time they show up.
yeah.
I'm sure you covered the sound experience modes, or the whatever it's called, earlier in this video.
So funny with binaural audio.
Oh, I bet.
I wish there was kind of a home button here. Here we go. Where are we? Yeah.
Yep,
Sounds of
that's what it
Nature.
was.
Really funny.
I gotta say, as gimmicky as it is, the BMW's experience modes are even more gimmicky and less useful than these. So
Really?
I could actually maybe see myself possibly using one of these for a few minutes on a long highway drive.
I would use this in a rest stop when I'm trying to take a nap on a long road trip to drown out all
There you
the
go.
just, you know,
There's a good use for it.
yeah, all the noise.
Yeah.
But I also have an app on my phone that just like plays white noise, and I would probably do that.
Right.
But
let's be honest.
I like the warm fireplace.
I do like that.
Like
one.
you crank the heat all the way up
Mhm.
in your Sonata.
I think it should go to a full screen, just like
Yeah.
Netflix fireplace style. And the Snowy Village is kind of just goofy with the crunch.
Yeah, that's true. That's like really ASMR stuff going on.
Right. I want to know where and who they recorded, and just like.
It's pretty surround. Like I feel like I'm being surrounded by a group of
Inuits?
Inuits. Or we're just on a hike.
It'd be funny if it got progressively louder and
I-
closer until it's just like max volume. There's nothing you can do but turn it off. Yeah, no, it's Hyundai's loosening up a bit.
Yeah, they're having some fun.
They
I like
are,
that.
and it is cool. I mean, even just things like this kind of gaudy looking volume knob, and yeah, like, I think he summed it up well by saying they've reached adequacy, and now they're working on crafting their own image rather than just trying to catch up to the Japanese and the Germans, I suppose, with Volkswagen.
Yeah.
I do love the steering wheel. I'm sure you commented on it earlier.
I do. It's nice. It feels really ergonomically. Bleh. Ergonomically, it's really good.
Yeah.
But it's a nice luxury-oriented steering wheel. It's very friendly to, you know, the way you rest your arms on the armrests. So many things they've thought out well and done well in this car. Like your arms are the same height when you rest. The climate control interfaces. The fact that this park button is separate and closer to the driver than all the other drive, neutral, reverse buttons.
Mm-hmm.
Just a lot of thoughts gone into this car, and that's nice.
There is one thing they tried and did not succeed on, and I don't know if you caught it, but this little spot here looks great for a cell phone. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Probably designed for that.
Sure.
However, you put a phone in here, fits fine, great, all fine and dandy. You go to accelerate,
Oh my gosh, yeah, totally.
then you go to just breathe on the brakes,
Yep, completely annoying.
and because it's not padded or anything, just
It needs like a tensioner to.
just a slight tensioner,
Yeah.
or if it were, instead of being hard plastic, if it were kind of a softer material, maybe like this grippy sort of stuff,
Yep.
it would be quieter at least, but
Yeah.
or a slight more of an angle brake. But I did try putting my phone in there, and it was just constant back and forth, and so I just kind of did the classic, set it there, or the wireless
Yeah.
charger, which
There are a lot
works
of places to put things in this
Mhm.
car, which is kind of cool.
out. I suppose you could even.
Did you notice the slidable drive mode display?
I did.
So the more you floor it, the more dynamic it gets. The
Mhm.
less you floor it, the more eco it goes.
Is that just in smart mode?
Yeah, it's
Or
just in smart, yeah.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
you get normal, and then you're.
Yeah, explosion of force.
I can't help.
That's like in Rocket League when people score, you know? Yeah.
The frame rate seems to be a little bit low. It's hard to tell if that's just the animation or if it's getting
The
stuttering. a
frame
bit.
rate in this whole
Hard to
screen
tell.
is pretty low.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it still looks good.
Yeah, it does. It's cool.
No,
All right.
very
We're getting into the weeds here, but that sums up the Sonata.
Well, I think that's something to be said, is that we
Mhm.
could keep talking for a while about it, and that's something good to say. We're not grasping for straws here.
Yeah. No, it's a really nicely optioned car, and I like that they've taken some influence from the Kia K900 and
Mhm.
you know the Genesis lineup, and really made this a little bit more of a premium product. even though maybe it doesn't drive like a premium product, it's close, and it's pretty darn good.
It feels like a premium product and drives like a competent family sedan.
Yeah,
And it's
there you
priced
go.
accordingly.
Yep. Yeah, this is what, 33,000 bucks?
I think it's 34.
It's not much money. 34 with destination and stuff.
Yep. 34,365.
Cool. All right, guys. Check out Charlie on the Daily Motor. He'll have his own review on this car.
Absolutely.
Or onto the BMW.